Conspiracy theory, a belief that some covert yet influential organization is responsible for a circumstance or a set of events. Cult, a misplaced or excessive admiration for a particular person or thing. Emotional intelligence, the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotion. Psychologists have described emotional health as a person's ability to accept and manage feelings through challenge and change. For this Red Eye Media Group special report, we examined leaders and followers to find which personality traits were most commonly found. Let's start with the cult leaders. An example of a cult leader would be the United States President Donald Trump. He possesses narcissistic personality traits, meaning he doesn't care if what he's saying is factual, if it could be proved. He just cares if it's an idea, an ideology that can be accepted by a specific group of people. We can also find examples in Netflix original series Nurse Ratched, portrayed by actress Sarah Paulson. Nurse Ratched's point of view is to manipulate her way into saving her brother. She doesn't care who she kills, who she hurts, who she lies to. Netflix also brought a project called Waco, which followed a real cult. Another personality trait that we found when we studied cult leaders is that they show no remorse or sense of ownership. In the movie Waco, David Koresh kills himself at the end and leaves his children, his wife, his sisters to die in a fire. Throughout the entire movie, he was supposed to be protecting them. He took a bullet to the mouth. The last personality trait that we notice among all cult leaders is that they're rare, they're uncommon, which makes them stand out, which makes them more appealing to the followers. When we studied the followers, these are a list of the common personality traits that we found. Low morale. Morale is described by the confidence, enthusiasm, and discipline of a person or group at any particular time. Idiosyncrasies, a mode of behavior or way of thought peculiar and particular to an individual. Delusion. Impression that is firmly maintained despite being contradicted by what is generally accepted. Followers, before they become followers, are already exhibiting signs of low morale and delusion. Humans suffering from bipolar disorder have described states of psychosis where delusional thoughts have taken over their real realities. Not everyone who falls into a cult may be suffering from an undiagnosed or misdiagnosed psychological disorder. But there are a lot of similarities between the delusions of understanding once you're inside the cult versus who you were before and after you leave the cult. QAnon. They don't believe that the media reports regarding COVID-19 and statements made about mask wearing by Dr. Anthony Fauci are legitimate.
I've heard
but when a news group went to their campaign, they had their own media. Listen to what they had to say. Another claim by those in the QAnon conspiracy is that they recruit new followers by providing proof to back up their claims that a secret society of political figures and celebrities are partaking in pedophilia and child trafficking. Followers who have left the Q cult have provided maybe the most insight into the emotional mindset of those that are still in. First off, they normally find the information through a form of a trusted colleague, a friend, or coworker, or a family member. Some discuss introducing the cult and its programming to their parents, grandparents, or elders in their family. Once they're able to leave the cult, they have now lost contact with that family member. We heard similar stories when we did research on Scientologists. The Church of Scientology is a cult operating in the United States and other territories as a religion due to acquiring federal tax-exempt status. It was founded by L. Ron Hubbard, known to his followers as LRH, a science fiction and fantasy writer. His 1950 book, Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health, was published, and he launched the Church of Scientology based off these teachings.
He was never accepted into modern medicine.
The hours that I count.
Scientology actively recruits new members, the same way multi-level marketing businesses recruit ground-level employees. This is why they're so big.
Left the wedding of Tom
LRH
Cruise and
used
Katie
his
Holmes
time
in
as a
Italy
Navy
on
commander
what
to
she
design
calls
the
a
Sea
mission
Org,
to save Scientology,
real base that
writing
leads Scientology closer to a cult, less than a religion. You become a Sea Org member for life. You have to sign a lifetime contract. If you choose to leave the Sea Org, your families, those still in the Church of Scientology, are told to disconnect from you forever. Children, parents, grandparents, husbands, wives. Cult 45, aka Deplorables. The group of Trump political and personality supporters that used a statement from his 2016 opponent, Hillary Clinton, when she referred to them as a basket of deplorables. They took that to heart after Donald Trump became the president of the United States. The members of Cult 45 are responsible for helping spread disinformation, create counter-protest groups like Unite the Right, hold pro-Trump rallies or MAGA rallies. They promote and distribute MAGA attire, which is usually American-based flags, red, white, and blue, Make America Great Again, the hat that Donald Trump always wears. They basically ramp up anything Donald Trump says. Those are the people you see at his rallies cheering, no matter what it is he's actually promoting. Regardless of countless examples of the contrary or evidence, those in Cult 45 believe the media, outside of Fox News nightly commentators, have all been plotting to take down Donald Trump from the very beginning. They promote debunked conspiracy theories, such as alternative facts. When Sean Spicer held up the photos of the 2016 inauguration and said that Donald Trump had more attendees than Barack Obama, and the photo that they used showed more people at Barack Obama's inauguration. They call that an alternative fact.
It was the most watched inaugural.
It wasn't an alternative fact. There's no such thing as an alternative fact. There is the truth, and then there are lies.
Another couple of them networks. There were tens of million people that
Another
watched
example is when tapes from Bob Woodward's interviews with Donald Trump were captured. Trump's own voice saying he purposely played down the seriousness of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, which has caused countless American lives. Those in the cult do not believe the information about COVID from people like Dr. Fauci. They also didn't believe Trump's own words from his own mouth. The Manson family.
Charles Manson is a 1970s cult leader responsible for the murder of actress Sharon Tate. On August 8, 1969, Tate left El Coyote Cafe with Jay Sebring along with two other friends. They got home around 11 o'clock at night. 1 hour later, they ran into and met their demise with the Manson family as they broke in, slaughtered, and murdered them. The Manson family's primary belief was that Charles Manson was a manifestation of Jesus Christ and that his prophecies were reliable on concerning imminent, apocalyptic race war. Charles Manson never actually killed anyone, and he never took responsibility for the murders or the behaviors of the women in open court. We just studied 4 different cults: Cult 45, Scientology, Waco, and the Manson family, and 4 seemingly different cult leaders. Donald Trump is from the business world and has been impeached twice as a U.S. president for attempting to interfere with an election. On January 6, 2021, followers of the Trump cult stormed the Capitol building to stop senators from certifying Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as vice president and president-elect. People were killed. Ex-Scientologists like Leah Remini has been stalked, threatened, devalued, and sued for bringing light to the church through her A&E project. Manson died on November 19, 2017, after his death sentence was commuted to life without the possibility of parole. Tracing the emotional pathway. Why did Leah Remini join a cult? She claims she was radicalized by her mother, but also agrees that she brought into the concept of helping to make the world a better place. In her show, she helps fellow ex-cult members reckon with calling their experiences a cult, just so that it triggers their mind to understand that they themselves were tricked, bamboozled, and manipulated by Scientology programming. They were portrayed not only by the leaders, but felt empowered by their own self-serving belief of being a good person. Everyone gets betrayed by a leader in cults because the loyalty is not to the person, but to their supposed cause. David Koresh told Texas News via satellite that he really was waiting for a message from God, which only seemed to become a heightened realization as more ATF and law enforcement ensued a standoff with him. Donald Trump held a rally on January 6th prior to the incident at the Capitol, directing his attendees to storm the Capitol and to take back the country by force. Everyone around the world knows Joe Biden and Kamala Harris had a free and fair election in the United States, as well as the 2 elections in the state of Georgia. His cause is to be a winner by any means necessary. He plays on the ignorance and American pride of his followers. He's protected by the hungry media ecosystem that thrives on promoting conservative values. Emotional health is important in studying cults and other subgroups like street gangs. Individual thought and comprehension of what is truthful and factual is where it all begins. The cult is where you find community, whether it be on Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, or WhatsApp. And your behavior is the last to be radicalized. We would consider Cult 45 as an organized crime group since they plotted against specific political figures and carried out that plot. The emotions depicted in live footage shown during the attack displayed anger, hurt, confusion, and power. The real emotion that is driving their actions is fear. Fear is the ultimate driving factor. The question then begs, what is so scary? Tahyira Savanna is a graduate from Long Island University CW Post. She studied criminal justice, sociology, and psychology.